So we're going to start off in Shavasana. So coming down onto the mat, you can either have the knees bent, feet flat, or legs out straight, arms down beside you, whatever feels comfortable for you. As always, if your head feels like it's tilting back, pop a cushion or a towel underneath your head. Just so find a position that you can be comfortable in for a few moments. So kind of take time to find that comfortable position. So make the time to put, a cushion under your head or a block under your head. Sometimes a block might be a bit too thick, but a cushion or a folded up towel would be perfect. So your head is in line with your spine. So you can feel supported. Because although the winter solstice was yesterday, it's still, winter is a time for rest and reflection. If you think of nature, everything in nature kind of goes down, although it's kind of gone haywire the last few years. It used to be that everything at this time of the year went into dormancy, but now because the weather's all over the place, we've got plants coming through, snowdrops coming through already, but even so, our needs change throughout the year, and winter should be more of a time for rest. One of the reasons we get ill at this time of the year is because instead of taking the time to rest, we keep trying to plug through, keep trying to do our day-to-day tasks, plus all, we're trying to get ready for Christmas and all that kind of stuff. And that's one of the reasons we often get ill this time of year, because we're not listening to our body's desire for more rest. Let's say the winter solstice marks the longest night of the year, a time to kind of pause, to rest, and to reflect. And often we naturally kind of start looking back at over the year at this time of year. We start to look back, and sometimes we can focus on just the negative stuff, right? Focus on the stuff we didn't do, or the stuff that didn't go so well, or the stuff that, people let us down, this kind of, that and the other. Instead of thinking about the stuff that did go well, the things that we did do right, the good things. So we need to take time to reflect on those good things as well. And so just as nature slows down and turns inwards, typically, we need to allow ourselves to do the same, to reflect on what has been good about the year gone by. There's many things that I didn't do that I wanted to do, many things that didn't go so well, shitty things basically that have happened to me, but also, good things. And we can kind of let the bad things, the negative things, overshadow quite a bit. And I was speaking to my friend the other day, and we both find ourselves getting easily overwhelmed nowadays, and we're like, why is this happening? I thought, well, hang on a minute, we've both been through a hell of a lot over the past 5 years, and the world around us has been absolute chaos over the last 5 years. So we've been carrying like 2 stress buckets that have never been totally emptied. So anything on top just sends us over the edge. So if you've been feeling that way, that you feel yourself easily triggered nowadays, it's probably that. It's probably that we've all had to cope with so much stuff inside, our own lives and in the world for the last 5 years, so that anything on top of that is just too much, and we feel a sense of overwhelm. So we need to, that's another good thing, to take time to pause and reflect on the reasons why. Instead of just thinking, oh God, I'm a rubbish person, I'm useless, blah, 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 which is what I do, which is what we all do, we can kind of reflect, okay, this is perhaps why. In that case, I can be a bit more compassionate towards myself. Now it makes perfect sense why I get overwhelmed so easily, because I've been carrying so much pain, so much trauma, people I've lost, things that have happened, crap things that have happened, worrying about what's happening to the world, all that kind of stuff. It's been so much that anything else is just too much. So now I know that, I'm aware of that, I can be a bit more compassionate towards myself. So I'd like you to think of maybe times that you beat yourself up a little bit, and maybe you can see things from a different perspective and think, okay, maybe that's why I do that. Maybe that's why I procrastinate. That's why I feel anxious about doing X, Y, Z. And once we start to realize our patterns, we can show ourselves a bit more compassion, and it eases off. We can let go a little bit more, and we can move through. So instead of getting annoyed next time I get overwhelmed, I can show myself comfort as I would to someone else that I really care about. So thinking of that, reflecting back, and thinking of what you can let go of, the self-judgment, the self-criticism, maybe you beat yourself up what you can let go of, what you're ready to release, and what no longer needs your energy. That's something I saw the other day. What no longer needs your energy. Because I get so worried about this, that, and the other. I've got such a sense of injustice. You know, I'm fighting for the people who've been injured by vaccines, fighting for these people, and this, that, and the other. It's like, okay, does it need my energy now? There are other people fighting the good fight. Does it need my energy? So what no longer needs your energy? What can perhaps carry on perfectly well? You can pass it over, you can pass the baton if you like, you know, and it's time to step back. So maybe there's something in your life that you can take a step back of that no longer needs your energy, so that you can let it go. Just like the trees lose their leaves, they don't get stressed about losing their leaves. They don't think, oh my God, I'm letting people down by losing my leaves. They just let it go. And we need to learn to do the same. So take a nice deep breath in. And out, sigh out. And once more, nice deep breath in. And sigh it out. Then stretch out the arms and legs. Maybe have a little stretch on the wiggle one side and the other, stretching out the left side, stretching out the right side. Like you just woken up on a Sunday morning and you can just stretch out the body. Then we're going to come to a little happy baby pose. So we're going to bring the knees in. If you can, if it feels comfortable to do so, grab hold of the feet, either on the outside edge or the inside edge of the feet. You can bring a little bit of movement in. If this position doesn't feel comfortable for you, because it is quite a vulnerable position, if it doesn't feel comfortable for you, you can just hug the knees in, or maybe come to a frog-like position, or just find a way that does feel comfortable for you. I like to bring a little bit of movement in, a little bit of wiggling side to side with the pelvis. That feels nice for my back. So find out what feels good for your body. There's no hard or fast rules. We're going to take a nice deep breath in and out. And we're going to rock and roll ourselves up to sitting. So hold on either around the knees or behind the thighs. And rock and roll along your spine. See if you can rock all the way if it feels okay to do so. Massaging your spine. Then come up to sitting and bring yourself into your sitting position. So use your cushions. I'm using a bit of tinsel, I think. Using your cushions, whatever you need. So the past couple of days, I've just had to pop a cushion under my right knee. That just makes it feel more comfortable. Sometimes it needs it, sometimes it doesn't. So if it starts feeling a bit twingy in my knee or my hip, that's what I do. I just pop a cushion under there, because sometimes having something underneath your thigh or your knee to help you relax down into it is all that we need. So thinking of releasing as well, working on our hips to think of releasing stuff from the body, releasing emotions, releasing what no longer needs our energy. So just warming up a little bit. Just going to inhale, shrug the shoulders, and exhale, let them drop. So breathe in and out, in and out. Breathe in and out through the nose. So but also, you keep going, but also activating our thyroid gland, as well as releasing tension from the shoulders. So squeeze as tightly as you can, then let it drop. Inhale, squeeze, hold. Let it release. Also, you might feel a nice warm glow across your shoulders. Now imagine your head is like a giant crayon, and you're going to draw a circle on the ceiling. Now go super slow, because we often have a tendency here to tense the neck. You know, I think partly because the head is so heavy, and because we hold a lot of tension in our neck and shoulders, and so we often have a tendency to tense the neck. I do it as well. So go super slow. If you struggle to relax your neck or jaw, try pressing the tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth, just gently, and change direction. Just gently pressing it. Sometimes that helps you to not tense your jaw. You may notice one side feels okay, and the other side you tend to tense the neck, jaw, or shoulders. I think also because you hear that kind of clunking and grinding, and it kind of sounds like it should hurt, but it doesn't always. No, it doesn't hurt at all, it just sounds like it should. And then coming back to center, and we're going to circle the ribs around. Now, you can use imagery here, so you can imagine that you're in a jar and you're scraping the inside of the jar with your ribs, or you can imagine circling around your tailbone with your rib cage, or whatever works for you. Or sometimes I have an image of like a whirlwind. You know how like a whirlwind will spiral. Sometimes I have that kind of image, whatever works for you, whether it's like symbolism, or just closing your eyes and focus, just breathing with it. When we start worrying about, am I doing it right, it ends up getting really rigid. And that's why I say close your eyes, just feel into it. We're releasing and moving our spine, releasing tension, releasing trapped energy. So imagine inhaling forward, exhaling around. Or you can imagine like a spine flex, but instead of going just forward and back, we're going to the corner, to the front, to the other corner, and then round the other way. The next time you come to the front, change direction. Inhale forward, exhale back and around. And you can maybe start slow, and then maybe go a little bit quicker. So great energy boost. If you've only got a few minutes, like in the morning, and you want some energy, doing a couple of minutes of this is a great little exercise. And coming back to center. This time we're going to wiggle side to side. So just literally imagine wiggling side to side. You inhale left, exhale right. So imagine pushing your ribcage over to one side, pushing it over to the other side. Again, try not to overthink it. Three, two, one, and release. So we're just doing a few exercises to warm up and to get that energy flowing. So we're alternating between kind of dynamic exercises and slightly slower exercises. This next one's a little bit slower. So we're going to bring the hands together. We're going to interlink the hands. We're going to have the index fingers extended and the hands to your heart. So your thumbs are touching the sternum rather than up here. So the thumbs are touching your sternum. You take a breath in, lift your heart. As you breathe out, you're going to push the hands forward. You're going to round over and you're going to drop the chin towards the chest. And we're going to inhale, reach the arms up, stretch up through the crown of the head, stretch, 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 stretch. Then we're going to exhale, pull the arms down, imagine like cactus arms, draw the arms all the way down, and you're going to clasp the hands behind you, roll the shoulders back, stretch the arms down, and then just lift the arms away from you, lifting the chin slightly, stretching out the front of the body. And exhale, bring the hands back, and clasp the hands, index fingers extended. So breathe in, lift your heart to your hands. Breathe out, push the hands forward, round over. So it's like a cat flex, drop the chin to the chest. Then inhale, imagine reaching forward and then up, lengthening up, almost like you're lifting up out of the chair. And exhale, pull the arms down, open out through the chest. Taking the arms back. Inhale, clasp the hands, roll the shoulders back. Lift and open the heart. And exhaling, bring the hands back in. Again, interlink hands, index fingers extended. Inhale. Exhale, press. Inhale, forward and up. Stretch, 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 stretch. Exhale, draw down, open up through the heart. Bring the hands around, clasp the hands. Inhale, open the heart space. And exhale, hands back to the heart. You've got one more like that. So inhale, lift your heart to your hands. Exhale, press the arms away, chin to chest. Inhale, reach forward and up. Stretch. Exhale, draw the arms down. Clasp them behind you. Inhale, open your heart. And exhale, release. Hands back to your heart. Now, if you need to, you can always switch your legs. We've got one more exercise, two more exercises here. But we haven't stretched your legs out. Yeah, so don't worry. Bring your hands kind of to your collarbones. We're going to inhale, twist left, exhale, twist right. We're going to breathe in and out, in, out. 3, 2, 1. Stay here. Inhale, pull the elbows back. Exhale, push the hands forward. So it's like another spine flex. And again, it's a nice dynamic. And as you exhale, we're going to exhale through an O-shaped mouth, like you're blowing out a gobstopper, like. So we inhale through the nose. Exhale. Stretch them out, shake them out a little bit. And just take a moment, simply observing all and any sensations. So one of the things about balance, we often think of balance when we talk about like work-life balance. We think it's like a pie chart. And that every day should be this much work, this much play, this much da-da-da-da. But life's not like that, right? So there will be some days where you don't have as much time for play. There'll be some days where you feel full of energy, some days where you don't. So it's about thinking of balance throughout the whole year. So as long as you're getting throughout the week, the month, the year, a balance of being creative, of being playful, of being, working, whatever, that's the way you've got to look at it. And in balancing on the mat, we can think of dynamic poses and then more kind of like passive restorative poses. We want to build the energy up, then we want to allow it to move through the body. So we're going to come into a forward bend with a breath of fire. I want you to notice how you kind of like sink a little bit deeper into the pose, the deeper we go. Now you can sit up on a cushion as I'm doing. That wasn't intentional, but I'll stay here. Pull the butt cheeks back slightly. See if you can hinge forward and see if you can wrap your fingers around your big toes. Press your thumbs into your big toes. It helps to activate your pineal gland. If you can't quite reach, then bend your knees. Relax the shoulders. So we're going to tuck the chin in slightly. And we're just going to breathe the breath of fire. If you don't want to do the breath of fire, you can either do it slightly slower, or you can do long, deep breathing. Totally up to you. So come into your position, soften or close your eyes, relax your shoulders, and just stay here, keep breathing until I say otherwise. Keep gently pressing into your big toe. If you're with me, a breath of fire, pumping that belly. And imagine it burning away any tension, any tightness, anything in your body that no longer needs your energy. And do a nice deep breath in. Hold the breath for a few seconds. As you exhale, see if you can stretch a little bit further. And release. Inhale, coming back up. And we're going to come over onto our hands and knees. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Pressing down into the palms, hug the elbows in. And then inhale, lift the tailbone, eyes slightly forward rather than up. And exhaling, pulling up through the back of the heart. And inhale, drop the belly, draw the heart forward. Exhaling, rounding, lifting through the back of the heart. Breathing in. And out. So breathe in, heart forward. And breathe out, pull up and back, sit back into a child's pose. So sit your bum back to your heels as much as possible. And inhale, bend the elbows a little bit as you come forward. It's like a wave-like motion. Then at the end of the breath, your arms become straight. As you exhale, tuck the tailbone under, lift up again like a wave-like motion as you sit back to your heels. So inhaling as you come forward, making the breath last the whole movement. Exhale, pull up and back. And just doing that a few times and getting that sense of that wave type motion. Bringing fluidity into your spine. Go relax your jaw. Full breath in. And out this time, we're going to tuck the toes under and inhale, come forward. Exhale, pull up and back. Then press, lifting the knees. And exhale, lower the heels towards the floor. Inhale, lift the heels, bend the knees. Sit back into that little child's pose. And inhale, come forward. Untuck the toes. Exhale, pull up and back. Sit back to your heels. Inhale, forward into cat. Exhale, pull back into child's pose. Inhale, forward into cat. This time, tuck your toes. So as you pull back, this time pulling back into down face dog. Now lift those heels, bend the knees, bring the chest to the thighs, then lower the knees. And inhale, forward. Untuck toes, exhale, pull back. Inhale, forward into cat. Exhale, pull back into child's pose, Inhale, forward into cat. Tuck the toes under. Exhale, wave back into down face dog. Inhale, lift the heels, bend the knees. And this time kind of waving back through the legs. So lift onto the balls of the feet, come forward slightly, then bend the knees, and then pulling back, pressing the heels down. So like in a wave-like motion in that dog pose. Breathing in and out, in and out. And we're going to bring the right foot forward so you can step it through, you can carry it through, you can drop to your knees. You can do a combination of all of those. Bring that foot through, make sure the foot is underneath the hip. You do a little bit of jiggling here just to open up the hips a little bit. Then lower that knee down, add some extra padding if you need to. Again, just a little bit of forward and back, maybe even a little bit of kind of circular if that works. You might need to adjust your hands, going around in a kind of circular movement and around the other way. Then come up into a lunge position. Lift and open through your heart space. Lift your chest, lift your eye gaze. Again, hug the thighs into the midline. So we want to feel like we're opening out through the chest. I'm going to go back to those breathing pattern that we did earlier. So interlink your hands, index fingers extended, hands to heart. So really press into that front foot. So instead of just hanging out in the hip flexors, push the floor away, squeeze your booty, hug the thighs into the midline. So inhale, lift your heart to your hands. Exhale, push the hands forward, again, round through the back as if someone's got a string, and then pulling your upper back, drop your chin to your chest. Then inhale, imagine reaching forward and up, 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 up. Exhale, pull the arms down, take the hands behind you, roll the shoulders, inhale, lift and open your heart space. And exhale, bring the hands back again, index fingers extended, inhale, heart to hands. Exhale, push, the hands forward, round, chin to chest. Inhale, reach forward and up. So take your time, there's no rush. Exhale, draw down, long exhale. Bring the hands behind you, roll the shoulders. Inhale, lift and open your heart space. And exhale, bring in the hands to your heart. Now we're going to try and flip this left foot around. Now if your knee gets stuck a little bit, just adduct it, because sometimes it feels like your skin is attached to the floor. And we're just going to come in a little bit side to side. If you need to make any adjustments, like I sometimes need to move that foot forward a little bit, then do so. So my front heel is kind of more in line with the back of my knee. A bit further back felt a little bit too tight, so I brought it forward a little bit. So if I was to draw a line, probably kind of like just comes to about here, the back of my knee, rather than the shin. So if that's the case for you, you can do the same. Just wiggle it forward a little bit, opening out into the hips, so either elbow to thigh or hand. You can come all the way back a little bit and start to make the movement a little bit bigger. Once you kind of get used to the movement, engage this front foot. Notice how my arch is lifted, so it's not kind of like flat and floppy. I'm kind of lifting up through my feet as if I'm trying to pick the mat up. Otherwise, if it's all floppy, then when I come forward, it's likely to do that kind of thing, which you don't want to do. And you can start to make the movement a little bit bigger. So we're kind of almost coming into a kneeling triangle position, or a variation of the gate pose, Parigasana. You can even bring some arms in if you wish. Again, sometimes you'll find you'll naturally start to bring some movement in, and that's okay. Go with it, go with the flow. Then we're going to come back around, so we're going to spin back around. So when I get back here, my foot is slightly too far in, it's too narrow, so I just wiggle it back again. It's all good. And again, just shifting forward and back, Maybe starting to straighten that front leg into an Ardha Hanumanasana. Inhale forward, exhale back. Again, see what works best for you, what feels good for you, what does your body need today? Maybe it needs small movements, maybe you want to hold a pose for a second or two, that's absolutely fine. And we're going to find our way back into down face dog. Now you can come via hands and knees, you can come like straight into your dog, adjust as you need to. Then we're going to do that wave-like motion again, inhaling forward, exhale back. If you need to rest, you can come into a child's pose and rest. And if not, we're going to bring our left foot through, carry it through, step it through, whatever you need to do. Just make sure that the knee is over the ankle, and you can bring some movement in here, what feels good for you. And keep kind of asking yourself the question, what do I need today? What feels good for me today? And it'll be different on different days. You know, some days I like just to stay still, some days I like to add movement. And it is different on different days. Yeah, untuck the back toes. And maybe again do a little circular kind of movement. Loosening up into the hips. This is why I've got plenty of padding under my knees. Go around the other way. I've got about 3 or 4 mats here to protect my knee joints. And there we're going to find our way up into that lunge position. Lift and open through the heart, relax the shoulders. Again, if you feel like the foot's too far forward or whatever, don't be afraid to bring it back in. The knee's way over, don't be afraid to wiggle it forward. Hug the thighs into the midline, shoulders relaxed. And then bring your hands into that Venus lock, it's often called, we call it Venus lock, index fingers extended. So inhale, lift your heart to your hands. Exhale, push forward, drop your chin round through the upper back. Then inhale again, think of stretching forward and up. Exhale, open up through the heart. Clasp the hands. Inhale, lift and open your heart. And exhale, bring the hands back. Inhale, lift your heart to your hands. Again, keep the legs engaged, so you're not just hanging out in hip flexors. Exhale, round over. Inhale, lift, stretch. Exhale, open up through the heart. And inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And exhale, bring the back. Now I think we did 3 on the other side, so we'll do 3 this side. Inhale, lift. Exhale, press forward. If not, it's a bonus. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, draw down. Inhale, lift and open the heart. And exhale, hands back to your heart. So we're going to spin that knee around. So just notice as I spin my knee around, again, I just need to adjust it slightly. So notice here, my foot, if I was to draw a line from my heel, it would be right where my calf is. And I'm struggling to press my knee back there. So if I just bring it forward to there, notice how it's moved forward. So there, I can't quite press it back. And it's pressing on my knee, it's torquing my knee. So if I bring it forward, that feels so much better. So find the position that works for you. Remember, it might be different on one side than the other. So this side feels slightly stiffer. So I'm just going to go kind of gently on this side. That's why I say sometimes, if you have an easy side, be careful because you might just drop into the other side thinking it's going to be the same and then get a shock when it's not. So always kind of listen to your body, again, engage that foot so you're not dropping the knee in. So kind of grip with the foot as if you're trying to pick up the mat. Again, you can start to make the movement a little bit bigger. So you're kind of coming into a Parigasana position, stretching out that side waist. It's always like an ongoing conversation with your body. Always bearing in mind, I was having this discussion the other day, that the poses initially were designed to prepare the body for meditation. Yoga is all about what's happening up here. What's happening up here affects our body. The first Yoga Sutra is yoga is the stilling of the thought waves of the mind, because they realized years ago that it's our thoughts that cause our suffering. Our mind. But they realize that most of us aren't capable of sitting still. Physically, we can't do it. We fidget. We can't get comfortable. Mentally, our brain's going blah, 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 blah. So the poses are designed to prepare ourselves for sitting. Now, our life is a lot different nowadays. We're going to spin our way back. Our lifestyle is a lot different. So again, when I get here, that foot needs to adjust. So we need to take into account the fact that our lives are different. Our diet is different. The things that we do is different. We're more sedentary. We spend more time sitting. So what we do on the mat needs to be different. But always keeping in mind that that's what the poses are doing. Are preparing ourselves for stillness, for quiet. Because we have so many distractions nowadays compared to like when I was a child. When I was a kid, we didn't have computers, we didn't have mobile phones, didn't even have 24-hour telly. We had 3 channels, 4 channels that stopped at midnight. And in some ways, I wish we could go back to that. In some ways, I wish we could kind of go back. Because nowadays, there's no pause button. There's no pause. Life is 24/7, and that's not necessarily good. No wonder we're all stressed and harassed and all that kind of thing. So we're going to find our way back into down face dog, and either through hands and knees or straight back. And you can gently wiggle side to side, maybe turning the feet. One side, then the other. Stretch out the hips, stretch out the side waist. And coming back down, there's a little burrito out there. He would love to come in. He would love to join in, but it's not easy doing practice with a chicken. Stretch out. Knees open slightly, stretch the arms out, relax the forehead down. And just let go. And start to curl yourself up to sitting. Now, if you've got a wall close by or something that you can press your foot against, then take advantage of that. We're going to do like the figure 4 stretch, like the supine pigeon. So this stretch, some of you normally bring the legs up. We want to do it against the wall. Now, what often happens, especially if you've got tight hips, is we push the knee and this side of the pelvis twists. This is a big exaggeration, but that's what tends to happen. We push the knee and the pelvis twist. So we want to try and keep that from happening. So we're going to go through in stages. So if you do have a wall, we're going to take advantage of the wall. So to start with, we're just going to lie flat with the feet flat and get a sense of our powerhouse. So those of you who do Pilates, you'll know the powerhouse refers to that kind of rectangle, that draw a line from shoulder to shoulder down to hip across the other side. So both sides are level. So say when we push the knee, the pelvis twists like that. So we end up kind of skew-iff on one side. So I want you to try and focus on keeping your powerhouse so that when we lift the leg, we want to make sure we're not twisting. So just get a sense of both sides of the waist level. So often, once we figure out what we want, we're more like to notice what we don't want. So against or coming close to the wall, so your toes are touching the wall. And just keeping the pelvis level, extend the right leg straight up as if you're doing a hamstring stretch, and just hold on behind the thigh. And just imagine sucking the thigh bone into the hip socket as you draw the leg towards you. Again, keeping the pelvis level. So we're not grabbing for the foot or pulling on the pelvis. We're going to keep it nice and level. Press your lower back down into the floor. Then we're going to turn that foot out. Notice how it's turning out in the hips. Then you're going to bring that foot, you can help it along, onto your left knee. Now, straight away, that feels quite tight there for me. This is the one that's been feeling a bit strange this week. So I'm going to place my left hand firmly on my left hip, almost as if someone's holding me there to anchor me down. Then I'm going to take the right hand onto the inside of the right knee, and I'm going to imagine stretching the two away from each other. So I'm going to press my left hip down, and I'm going to press the right knee out. As I inhale, I release it slightly. As I exhale, I press it out. So again, as if you're trying to increase the distance between your right knee and your left hip. So stretch it away, breathe in and out. Let it go. Then release slightly. Bring your left foot to the floor. Now to the wall rather. Now make sure you're close enough to the wall that the knee is at a right angle. So you're like this, but your foot is against the wall, or whatever you're using. So whatever you can push the foot against. And you're going to push against the wall, whatever you're using. So you've got to create a bit of contraction and then do the stretch. So you might notice it feels slightly different with a bit of resistance. And so make sure you're close enough to the wall that you can press into it. So you've just got a right angle on that leg. Again, check both sides of the waist are level. Anchor that left hip down. Press that right knee away, flexing the right foot. You can inhale, ease off a little bit. Exhale, stretch. So you're rotating the thigh in that hip socket. Full breath in. Full breath out. Shoulders relaxed. Full breath in. Full breath out. Then release. Extend that leg up and pop it down on the floor. Bring both feet down on the floor. Again, just get a sense for your powerhouse that both sides of the waist are level. Then extend your left leg. I'm just going to turn sideways so you can see. Just extend your left leg up and just hold on behind the thigh and ease it towards you a little bit. So sometimes what we do is we reach up for that, which also means we twist in the pelvis, because when we twist like that, we can get the leg further. But we don't want to do that. We want to keep the pelvis level, and we don't want to tense the shoulders. So just gentle stretch, then turn the foot out and the thigh out, then bend the knee, bring the foot against on the right thigh. So this side is my slightly more open side. So right hand on right hip, left hand on left knee. So your hand on the hip is like that. So it's on the front of the hip, so you're pressing it down, and then you're pushing the knee away. So as if you're trying to make space between your knee and your hip. So again, we don't twist the pelvis. And full breaths in, full breaths out. Release it slightly, bring that right foot against the wall or whatever you're using. So again, it's at a right angle, push into the the wall, push into whatever you're pushing into. And again, press the knee away as you anchor down through your hip. Then full breath in, what no longer needs your energy, let go of it. Full breath out. Then release that leg and just rest the legs up the wall. If you want to come closer to the wall, do so. Arms wherever feels good for you. So if you need to move closer, if you want to add any props, do so. If not, just stay where you are. Arms either to the side, on your belly, wherever feels good for you. And allow your eyes to close. And feel the weight of your body resting fully, being supported by the earth beneath you. And often notice that how we show up on the mat is how we show up in life. So those who struggle to relax often struggle to receive support because there's a part of you that doesn't trust. Either you don't trust because you've been let down in the past, and that often leads all the way back to childhood where you felt let down at some point, so you struggle to trust. Or there's a part of you that doesn't feel deserving of being supported, but it's there somewhere, and it often traces way back, maybe one incident when you were a child, but it's there somewhere. So those people who really struggle to relax and let go, there's a reason there for it, and it's often a trust issue, because letting go means allowing yourself to be supported. So notice how easily or not you allow yourself to be supported, whether it's by the earth or the people around you. So say the winter solstice marks the longest night of the year, a sacred pause. A moment when darkness is nothing to fear, but something that holds and protects. So with each inhale, draw your awareness inwards. And with each exhale, soften, letting go of what no longer needs your energy. Letting go of whatever no longer needs your energy. And just imagine the quiet of an old-fashioned frosty winter, when we used to get proper winters with the sparkling frost all around, but bright sunshine. So we visualize that and the stillness of the earth as it rests. And notice how even in this deep darkness, there is a small, steady light within you. A flame of warmth, of wisdom, of renewal. You do not need to force it to grow. Simply acknowledge that it is there. And just sit with this light for a few breaths, trusting that in time it will naturally expand. And if you think of the word namaste, it can translate to my soul honors your soul. I honor the place in you in which the entire universe resides. I honor the light, love, truth, and beauty within you, because it is also within me. And as you acknowledge this light, trusting that it naturally expands, set the intention to carry this quiet strength within you, honoring the darkness but welcoming the slow return of light. And remembering that even in the darkest times, that light is within you. It may be small, it may be very flickering, other times it burns bright, but it is still there within you as it is within others, so that you know that you are never truly alone. And if you're ready to let go of that which no longer needs your energy, you can imagine putting it to the flame and seeing it burn brightly before turning to ash and returning into the vastness of the universe. And taking another deep breath in and let it go. And just gently drawing your knees in towards the chest. Wrap the arms around the knees. Taking a moment here. And gently rolling off onto your right side. Make a little pillow with your hands. Rest your head on your hands for a moment or two. And when you're ready, easing yourself back up to sitting. You bring your hands to your heart, heart to your hands. Take a little bow to seal your practice. Namaste, belated solstice blessings to you.